state media is reporting that the helicopter crash was actually caused by an unspecified technical failure. In fact, the helicopter that crashed, killing the Iranian president, Ebrahim Raisi, and the foreign minister, either did not have a transponder fitted or it had turned it off. This is what an initial investigation by the Turkish rescue group that found the wreckage has revealed. In fact, the Turkish transport minister had told reporters that on hearing the news of the crash, Turkish authorities had checked for a signal from the helicopter's transponder that broadcasts height and location information. It's also emerged that the Iranian government had been urged in a memo by officials to purchase 2 Russian helicopters for its leaders specifically, amid concerns over the maintenance of its fleet of aging helicopters. But who is the man set to become Iran's interim president? Well, we'll take a deep dive into that. But first, let's go across to my colleague Mohammad Ghazali, who joins us for a live update. 5 days of mourning have been announced, with the president's funeral to be held today, when the whole country would be closed. India, as you know, has declared a one-day state mourning. But Ghazali, an election for Ebrahim Raisi's successor is expected at the end of June?
Yes, the dates have been announced. The elections will be by 28th of June, and a high-level probe has been ordered into what went wrong with the helicopter in which the President, Mr. Ebrahim Raisi, and Amir-Abdollahian, the Prime Minister, were traveling, and what were the circumstances under which it developed the technical snag. Now, that is one thing that most of the pro-government voices are not openly saying, because we also spoke to a couple of pro-government voices in Iran. They said that right now they can't openly say that there was any foul play, because since this incident was reported, many pro-government voices were also saying that perhaps it is very unusual. Even some experts were also saying that it is very unusual that the president and the foreign minister, they were all traveling in just one helicopter, and there was no other the security staff with them. And how come out of the 3, 2 of the helicopters with other staff managed to get back to the terrain, but the one carrying the president and the foreign minister could not make it. So there were a lot of voices there, but till the next 5 days, the national mourning has been announced in Iran. On Wednesday, the burial ceremony will take place for the president and for the foreign minister of Iran now, and many leaders of the state are also expected to attend this ceremony there once the burial takes place. So, but now the government in Iran is also focusing on the probe, because many leaders also hinted perhaps that due to sanctions, the helicopters or which Iran has been using for the last many years, due to sanctions, perhaps they could not get the replacement or the parts which are needed to upgrade the facility there. So that is one of the reasons why the Iranian government has now ordered a fresh probe to see if there was any foul play or the technical snag was really genuine. So to find out and to ascertain the reason of the crash, the government has ordered a high-level probe.
As always, Ghazali, thanks so much for joining us with the latest update. As Iran mourns its President Ebrahim Raisi, their foreign minister and other officials killed in this helicopter crash, the world will be closely watching the implications on geopolitical equations. For deeper insight into the matter, we have with us West Asia expert and senior journalist Dr Waiel Awwad. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. This unfortunate crash follows an unprecedented round of escalation between Iran and Israel, as we saw in April, sparking speculation on the potential implications for Iran's regional policy and the ongoing conflict with Israel. But sir, in terms of what's next, is Iran likely to turn its attention inward to maintain stability and calm during the presidential transition?
Good morning, Parmesh. Actually, there will not be much of a changes in the policy of Iran internally or externally. Having said that, because of course the president or the interim government has been selected, Mohammad Mukhbar, who is very close to Khamenei, and he is also known as a conservative. So we do not see much of a changes in the caretaking government till the election on the 28th of next month. But because of the current situation in the war of Israel on Gaza and the escalation that where the Israeli Prime Minister tried to drag the United States and Iran into a regional conflict with Israel to involve them. So therefore, there could be a chances of escalation to continue as long as Israel continue its war on Gaza. But I don't see a major changes. However, if the investigation proved by any means that there is an involvement of another state, which could be Israel or the United States, in the sabotage to bring down this helicopter, then we may see some kind of a catastrophe in West Asia.
Right. In terms of the bigger picture then, sir, Iran's next leaders, is it almost certain that they will be hardliners? As you've briefly mentioned, they will also have to choose whether they'll continue to operate with caution in their confrontations with the United States.
Well, I think it's the election will decide who should be the conservative or the liberal in Iran. However, it is the supreme leadership which also give the approval for any president to take part after the election in Iran. But I think the American pressure on Iran and the Western world have tried to isolate Iran, increasing the sanctions, causing lots of harsh among the public. So, all these have had an impact on the public opinion. However, I don't see a difference in the policy. Why? Because Iran have already stated its own policy toward the outcome of this war toward the United States and the West, and they have become more active acting east. So therefore, we see much of an Iranian involvement and relation growing with a country like Iran, like India, where they've signed 10 years contract with the Shah Bahar port. And then you are also having the relation with China and Russia. So Iran is geopolitically very important, and nobody can ignore not only its own potential, but also its location, and it's a force to reckon with.
Right. So, some in Iran also blaming US sanctions for making it difficult to purchase spare parts for the fleet. In fact, a former government official has argued that this crash would be recorded in the blacklist of American crimes against the Iranian nation. What's your take, sir?
Well, there is no doubt that there's a sanction on Iran, and there is the Iranian even called it a terrorism sanction, economic sanction by the United States. But that does not give them the carte blanche using a 45 years old helicopter from the United States to make the president travel in such kind of a harsh atmosphere and the environment. I don't see there is a failure inside Iran, actually, also intelligent failure. There's a failure in the government. That's why they have had a high-level investigation team to find out the loopholes led to this kind of a catastrophe. I'm still in, like many of the observers, look at it from the weather conditions. But there are also people who are saying could be also some technical fault, that is right, but could be also some sabotage, where it is very easy to bring down a helicopter. And if it was this much old, why the Iranians did not have a proper airplane to let their leaders fly?
Right.
And if it has happened, then what is the problem of serving the top leaders with the better sophisticated airplanes to travel? And why to go in a helicopter? That's another question.
Well, sir, thank you so much for joining us with deep insight into the matter. Ebrahim Raisi's death not only sets the stage for new presidential elections, but also opens up a new chapter of instability for the Islamic Republic. Dr. Awwad, always a pleasure to hear your views.
Thank you.